Live from Studio City, California, it's time to Visit Your Tomorrow, the show where spirit meets reality, with Dr. Linda Salvin, an integrative health consultant, a metaphysical clinician with a PhD in metaphysics, who offers insight with psychic readings, DNA-based nutrition, and wicks of wisdom, magic candles. Now it's time to Visit Your Tomorrow, the show where spirit meets reality, with your host, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Or is it reality meets spirit? That's what we find out at the end of every hour of what I do with the Dr. Linda Salvin Visit Your Tomorrow show, or if you want to call it Wicks of Wisdom, or you want to call it the Psychic Radio, Psychic, whatever name you remember having me in your ears for over the last 28 years. I'm here now on YouTube and Facebook and StreamYard, and I'm here to answer your questions. So for the next couple of minutes, I'm going to be taking your chat. I'm going to talk about the retrograde. If you have not been feeling it, you're very unique, because most people are getting knocked off kilter. The retrograde, Mercury retrograde, is insane right now. Communication, anger, grief, anxiety, yelling, screaming, blaming, breaking up, reuniting, hiding under the rug. Whatever you're doing, it's normal until October. So just keep doing what you're doing and hold on and keep your seatbelt on, because it's really tough. Yesterday, my refrigerator broke, and I rent a house, and my landlord doesn't pay for appliances. I have to as the renter. So I went to 3 different places and priced out what I wanted. And it turned out that retrograde worked in my favor, because one guy was going to charge me a lot of money. And then I found the same thing online with something more that I wanted. And he said, no, we couldn't meet the price. So I bought it from somebody else. And then when I was at one of the big box stores, they said, well, if you want to get a credit card, you'll save $50. So I applied for that and approved myself and got another $50 off. So I walked away saving almost $300 by traveling out of my way to get the refrigerator I really wanted, because when I move out of here, it's going to go with me anyway. So that's how the retrograde works. First it breaks, and then the anxiety, and where am I going to get the money? And oh my God, why this? Well, why not? It always happens. I freak out, you freak out, and then it passes. So welcome to Visit Your Tomorrow. Why are we calling it Visit Your Tomorrow? Well, as a health educator, a former epidemiologist, a longtime metaphysician, I'm all about you improving you, so that your moment turns into many moments in the future, whether it's with love, money, moving, health, travel, communication, spiritual growth, or whatever, that I'm able to assist you to move forward. So rather than just doing Radio Psychic or Visions and Solutions or Dr. Linda Live, it's Visit Your Tomorrow. And then you can call back or chat once you've had readings or healings or candles or whatever your thing is you want to testify and share with the audience. You can be talking about your yesterday turning into your today, which at the moment is going to be your tomorrow. So that's where we're coming from. So I see a couple of you in the chat room. It's nice to see you guys. And if you have a question, of course, type it. I'm going to talk for a moment a little more about the retrograde. I'm going to get into the DNA nutrition. I'm also going to get into the B3 bands I'm using for exercise, which will help everybody, because it restricts blood flow, which means when you're walking, playing golf, swimming, working out at the gym, you have these bands on, it's going to restrict the blood flow to increase your muscle growth at a faster rate, so your body will shape twice as fast. So I'm now into that, and if you go email me, I'll be more than happy to send you the link. I can't put it out here on YouTube at the moment, but they're really effective, and I can feel it in my legs, I can feel it in my arms, and that integrated with the health product that I'm always talking about, the DNA nutrition, you become better with your mind, body, spirit. You're going to feel better, your body's going to cleanse, and your organs and tissues and muscles, for whatever genes you inherited from your mom and dad that may have a risk factor involved, whether it's heart disease, thyroid, colitis, liver, kidney, spleen, depression, neurological problems. Everybody has something. This nutritional product balances the genetic code with a clinically dosed nutritional product based on your genetic code. And it's one product. I get it in powder form. I take it twice a day. And instead of buying 5 or 20 different bottles and containers of elements and nutrients and vitamins and minerals, and I don't know if I need 100 of this and 1 of that and 5 of those. It's all clinically dosed based on my genetic code. All I did was swab my cheeks. I put the stick in a little vial like this. I send it back to the company in Texas. In turn, I got 26 pages of a report based on my DNA, things that diseases or risk factors I inherited from my mom and my dad, especially heart disease, cardiovascular issues, blood pressure problems, depression, all that came out in what's called the motherfucker gene. That's what it's called. So my gene came out red, and there is heart disease in 3 out of the 4 of my grandparents and my dad. And I've already had a heart surgical procedure back 20 years ago, but it shows up in these reports, and then the reports tell you what nutritional products are best to decrease the risk factor involved. So if it's weight, if it's depression, if it's anxiety, if it's thyroid, if it's multiple sclerosis, the SOD2 gene is cancer, stroke, Parkinson's. All the different genes create different diseases within us. You can't feel it most of the time, but once you start taking the product, I can testify after a year on this, my skin has changed, my weight has changed, my attitude has changed, my sleep has changed. I don't drink caffeine anymore because I didn't even know there was a caffeine gene, but that got healed. So I don't crave caffeine anymore. So whatever you're going through, this is only going to help you. So as a metaphysical healer, I want to help you improve your health so your longevity is extended and you can go beyond what you were born with. Hi, Makita. Just talked to you yesterday. I'm glad you're here, everybody. Start asking questions if you want. Laura just purchased the nutritional DNA product, and we'll get her going in about a week. She just swabbed her cheeks, and then in about a month you'll start hearing some of her results. And in a few minutes I'm going to bring in a very dear friend of mine who I've known about 12 years by the name of Karina, and she's a medium. And the way she and I met, we're both members of what's called the American Federation of Certified Psychics and Mediums. The organization is out. It doesn't really exist anymore, but there's a group of us that were tested, certified, given certificates, and we were in an international contest that took place with thousands of people. I came in the top 10 as one of the top psychics and metaphysicians, and I've been in a lot of the books they published. And Karina is in that list as well. And she and I connected one day. I don't even remember how it happened. And then I read for her and she reads for me. And she calls me her spiritual mom, and I have visited her out of state. And sometimes you just connect. But yeah, there's a karmic thing where I think she's closer to me than her blood mom. And that happens. We connect to different people, as you know. You feel really good. She's clapping in the background. I'll bring her on in a minute. And then there's times you meet somebody and you just want to put a black shield over your face and run away because they're so negative or so controlling or so manipulative that they're evil. And you feel it. I feel it. You can feel it. So you're beginning to sense, or I'm beginning to sense, and that's the path on that we're on, is to find who your best, what I call soul circle is, where people understand you and feel for you. So I'm going to talk about a little bit more about the nutrition. Then I'm going to go over to the candles for a moment. And in between, I'll bring Karina on. Storm Monroe, that a lot of you know, has been invited to the show, but he's so busy. I don't know if he's going to pop up or not. He and I are going to be doing a show on his channel Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on the Storm Monroe Show. So you can tune into that as we continue to build what's going on here. Anyway, let's go back to the nutrition. It's all 100% HIPAA compliant. in an FDA approved laboratory. Nobody knows your DNA. It is not like 23andMe and government controlled. This is private, and they test, and all you can see is a barcode with my name, and that's all you are to the company, is a barcode in a computer. And then in your back office, you receive pages of data as to how to best improve your health by reading and their explanation of which element or chemical, I mean, not chemical, but vitamin or mineral is best used for your body to balance you out. Now, Laura just said, I said the other day, you look better. What I think I am seeing is less inflammation. She's right. The product decreases inflammation, the bloating, the puffiness, the irritation, sometimes the swelling. Your body will start cleansing and your body will start to integrate. But the thinking is more clear. The sleep is deeper. Recovery from the gym, drinking alcohol, getting loaded, eating sugar is faster. You don't have to go through as much of the downside of what happens to your body. It's all part of what goes on with the DNA. Now, quickly, I'm going to talk about the candles, but for a lot of you, you don't understand what Wicks of Wisdom are. Wicks of Wisdom is my candle magic line that I created in 1999. If you're looking for love, more money, getting rid of negativity, blocks, obstacles, curses, bad luck, you want the good luck power. If you want health and wellness for inflammation, cancer, diseases. We had one girl bleeding with tumors in her uterus, and she stopped bleeding vaginally when she did the candles. That's all online. I have soulmate power. You can get love, get your communication going with a loved one, bring people back in, attract new people. There's 17 different formulas. And as I explained in the past, there's 4 different bottles of oil. You get different oils. They're different qualities in each oil. So you get 4 bottles of oil. You get petition paper, which is made out of parchment. I supply you with herbs, paper, powders, and then you get a petition consultation where I dictate your personal needs for your personal work to help you achieve what you're trying to do. There are plenty of people on my website that testify just being kept out of jail, winning lawsuits, finding their soulmate, getting married, buying the house, selling the house, getting rid of negativity, passing the bar exam. I mean, there's hundreds of testimonies at lindasalvin.com. They're all people just like you. They started somewhere. So if you're interested in Wicks of Wisdom, call my office at 888-509-1077. And this week I'm giving a 10% discount, especially for the retrograde. And it'll help you, especially for the retrograde. You're going to want good luck power and harmony power to really balance it out. So Wicks of Wisdom work like a prescription for your soul. It's based on, mine are based on Kabbalah and Santeria. So they're 2 different religious values and variables that I combined. I took away the occult and I made it very mainstream back in 1999. You can see the infomercial that was originally done in 2006 and hit television in 2008. Kris Jenner was a paid spokesperson for that infomercial. It's right here on the channel at Dr. Linda Salvin. Please subscribe to the channel and help me build this thing, because it's a lot more difficult than just being on radio where I'm out there on an FM station and everybody's talking. Here, I got to wait for chat and I got to respond. So let me hear from you. I know you're listening. In the meantime, I'm going to bring in Karina.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Dr. Linda.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I am a spiritual mom.
Yes. So when you were talking, I just kind of want to give my testimony on the candle line. I've contacted Linda, and as she said, we're really good friends. She's my mom in real life and online. But I had a situation that was basically ruining my life every day by a person that was close to me. And, it was like this, where I had to, tell her like, hey, can you do something, because I can no longer control the situation. And I want to say within 2 weeks, maybe less even, the person just disappeared. It's been an amazing, like, I can come home from work. I don't have to check in with this person. I don't have to do everything. I can do my life, which is, I work at a school, but then I come home and I do readings. But now I have a life. And that's really thanks to Linda, because otherwise that person would still be like a leech.
We did Good Luck Power. I think your phone is on or something. We've got too much reverb here, Karina. So turn off your volume because it's not right on radio. It's too much.
Okay, is this better?
Yeah. Okay, much better. So I got rid of this person's energy that was destroying Karina because she was so depressed by what was happening and the backstabbing. And it was also, she was kind of stalking you.
Yes.
Right. So we got rid of all that. And you became more peaceful, more centered, more grounded, and less fearful.
Yes. Yes. And at that time, my relationship started with my person, my other, like my boyfriend, and things just started to evolve.
Which one?
Mr. V. We're going to call him Mr. V. During that time.
We did Soulmate and Good Luck Power. We removed the blocks, obstacles, and negativity. And then I did the Soulmate to draw him in. And he started emoting and calling more and going out more because, after a while, like he got the fire lit in his heart.
Yes. Yes. And now we're on to the next person. But whatever Linda tells me.
The evening, did you go out?
Not yet. Something came up. But what I was going to say is, whatever Linda tells me, it happens instantaneously. Like I've had so many readings in my entire life, and no one ever, like, I can call her up and she's like, okay, no, it's not going to, okay. I'm like, I didn't even ask the question. And the answer was right there. So to me, that's a true psychic. That's a person who actually cares enough to look into the situation and not use you. And that's the relationship we have, is that I can call her, at normal hours and tell her, this is my problem. And she'd say, hold on, I can figure this out. This is the answer. Go do it. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. I'm a little scared. She's like, go do it. And I do it. And I'm like, wow, that was not that bad. So whatever she says happens instantaneously.
It came out the way you wanted, which is great. Way I read is very diagnostic. I have a gift where I hear a voice and I feel an energy, and I mean, within seconds, I have an answer. I spoke to a gal in England 2 days ago, and she's in her early 30s, and she didn't have to say anything. I just asked her one question. She talked about her baby's daddy. I nailed it. I said, he's a deadbeat, he's this, he's that. And she wrote me a letter yesterday thanking me because everything I said was 100% right. She didn't have to say anything. She knows that I touched the soft spot, and she knows what to work on. I told her she's, dating a guy she has no feelings for, and to be in bed with somebody you don't even like isn't fun. And I was right. And she started crying because we were on Skype or something live. Maybe it was the phone, WhatsApp, I don't know. And that was Skype. And but I hit it. And I'm not here to hurt anybody. I have passion. I have a gift, and I do the best I can to give you the answer. So my gift is intense, and I can channel the dead people and cats and dogs and grandparents. And I've brought in people for 29 years, but I prefer just doing the readings. So World's Yours Entertainment wants to know which candle would be right to start. Right now, you need the Good Luck Power to move the blocks, obstacles, and negativity for your career and your love life and all the normal schmutz around you at the moment. People, if you're on Facebook listening, I can't read your statements on Facebook because of the audio. It's bleeding into the show here. So if you can text or chat through the StreamYard, I'll be able to see you more because there's too much streaming and I don't know what to do. I haven't figured it out yet. want to play just a little video about the candles for just a moment. Karina, stay still. I'll be right back. And take a look at this for just a few seconds, and you'll get a better idea of Wicks of Wisdom. Hold on. Let me figure this out. This is all new.
Use this set of candles to assist in strengthening the immune system, heal from various ailments, enhance general health and well-being, and target and help heal specific health issues. They can expedite the healing process. They're great to use before and after surgeries, and it can encourage physical, emotional, and spiritual healing.
Of Wisdom. And Karina, unmute yourself. There we go.
There we go.
So, that's one out of 18 sets of candles, not thousands. But you see 3 candles, 4 bottles of oil. You see the herbs, the powders, the parchment paper. That is one set of candles you will receive in the mail. You get a PDF file explaining what to do. You get videos, you get pictures, and then you purchase a petition consultation where I speak to you for about 10 minutes and I channel the direct words that are appropriate for your situation. I could have 5 of you calling with health and wellness, but each petition, I know there's an echo, I don't know where it's coming from. Jonathan, what's going on with you? The candles are different for everybody. I don't know where the feedback's coming from, people. I really don't. As I told you, I'm not an engineer. We have a lot of people working on putting all this together. We are streaming on the internet for radio, and we'll be on TuneIn soon, and then we'll be on other apps soon for just the audio. There, it stopped. And then it's the video aspect. I'm doing 2 at once and then putting it out there. Eventually, all the bugs will get fixed. So, as I said, the people listening on Facebook or YouTube, if you want to chat, try to get to the StreamYard, because I have no idea how to read all the different platforms at once yet. But as you see, we're picking up, and this background is green, or I've got little videos now. Little by little, it's building. But I need it to build a lot more. I need all of you to subscribe, and I need all of you to start chatting. So, Karina, let's go back. Unmute yourself. There you go. So, noise on your end. The noise is coming from your end. Yeah, there's something on your phone or your settings that are reverberating.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just sitting in a park. Maybe it's the park area. I don't know.
The background noise. So, when did you realize you were psychic?
My first experience was when I was 5 years old, and so I'm from USSR. So many of you don't know, but USSR fell apart in 1992, I want to say. So around the age of 5, I got really sick. I had pneumonia like 3 times in a row. And each time the doctor would prescribe, medicine, let's say 10 milligrams, the next one was 20. And the third time was the final straw. It was, say, 30 milligrams. So basically, I lost my hearing completely. I was completely deaf. And so after a while, me getting a little bit better, I couldn't hear anymore at that point. But I came into the kitchen, and as I'm walking, I can hear a little bit of this chopping going on. And I knew my grandma was cooking, but I knew I didn't hear it in my actual ears. I heard it in my internal ears.
Karina, we can't even see you. It's so dark. We can't see you now.
Huh?
It's so dark. We can't see you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm in the park, so I'll try to move in a little bit. But what ended up happening was, as I was walking into the kitchen, I said to my grandma, my great grandma, I said, how did your husband die? And the next thing I know, there's this huge picture window that comes up, and all I can see was a cannon. Like, I didn't know what it was at the time, but I knew something was in the heart area. And all I knew was she looked at me. She said, we can never talk about that. She's like, don't ever talk about anything like this. Don't ever talk about it. Okay. So after a few months, I want to say, we had the same conversation. And she said to me, you know, we are raised in a church. We can't talk about stuff like this. But what else can you tell me? So I started describing this scene. And mind you, it's been a while at this point. So now at this point, I can hear and I described the same detail. So after that, we would have, you know, we were a military family. So we would have a lot of friends, you know, that would come over to our house. And my great grandma would say to me, watch everybody at a dinner table. Okay, grandma, I didn't know what I was watching for. But every single time I would look at the people and I would be like, oh, they're not feeling well. They're, you know, they don't like this drink. And after a while, you know, she would ask me, do you remember we had this dinner? So and so was wearing so and so. And what did you feel? And I would tell her what I felt. And she said, yes, they're getting a divorce. They're getting, you know, this. But she said, you can't talk about this with anyone in their family. So after
Was this your
that,
mother's mom? No, was
this
this
is
your
my
mom's
great grandmother. So this is on my mother's side. Yes,
Okay.
on my mother's side. So then before we immigrated to the United States, I was 10 years old. And, you know, I said to my great grandma, I said, Grandma, I don't want to go to the United States. I don't know where this United States is. You know, I thought to me, a 10-year-old, I thought it was somewhere nearby because USSR just broken apart. We didn't know, like, we were not allowed to explore anything else. So she said, you're not going to be a lonely child. I said, okay. She's thinking I'm going to have a lot of friends. So finally, we immigrated. Fast forward to about half a year later, I had this vision when I was walking into my kitchen that there was a silhouette sitting at the corner of our table. And I said, Edward, you better do your homework. And I didn't know why I said, my brother wasn't even born. My brother was born when I was 11 years old. I was 11 when Edward was born.
Yeah, but you knew his name.
Yes, I knew his name. Yes. Yeah, so after that, I didn't tell anyone, but I would tell my friends like, oh, I don't like this person. Oh, you know, I don't think you should be telling your mom this or you shouldn't be doing that. And then in 2007, I lost my great grandmother, and right before she died, she said, you know, go use your gifts now. Now you have my permission. And I was like, I don't really want to. I'm good. And so she died. And after a while, the dreams started coming up, and finally, when I came out, everybody was like, you didn't tell me this. And I said, and that's when everybody decided to be my best friend. Everybody wanted to know something. And I said, no.
Stop right there. The girl we got to stop hounding you was a psychic vampire where she just wanted and wanted and wanted and wanted and wanted. I have gotten rid of a ton of people, clients as well as friends, who just think they're entitled to having an answer, or they don't have to pay because it's a gift from God, or we're friends, so I owe them everything. And it's not true. We psychics operate at a very high frequency. It's not the same as intuition. It's very, very different. And people take advantage of it, and everybody wants to suck you dry, and it almost feels like the scarecrow losing straw all the time. And I anger a lot of people, but they don't understand the invasiveness or the negativity to the point that it flatlines us. Do you agree?
No, it's kind of dark and there's people playing here in the park. So no, I'm good.
No, you didn't even hear what I said. You didn't even hear what I said about flatlining and how people use and abuse us.
Oh, that part I heard.
Okay, but do you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, everybody wants to be your best friend. And they use you until they no longer can use you.
Well, that's how you got rid of that woman.
Thank the Lord.
But look at all the new people that came in. And what's really beautiful is that Karina works with disadvantaged kids. And it's only the toughest cases of these children that the teachers can't fix, help, nurture, or communicate with. They all surrender to Karina because of her spirit. And it's the gift. I have to remind her every day that because of his spiritual gift, he's able to touch people. Even when they say they can't talk, all of a sudden these kids are talking. Talk about that.
So I'm just gonna say there is a student. His name starts with the letter S, and that's all I'm gonna say. So I'm Ukrainian. So this family is also Ukrainian, and when he came to school, he was in kindergarten, and he just grabbed me by my hand, and we've been inseparable ever since. So we started becoming really good friends. We hang out on Friday nights. And he only responds to me. He will not respond to any other teacher. Like, I can tell him sit, and he will sit. He will not move until I come back. But yesterday we had a girl. I'm gonna say her name is Eva. So to keep confidential, because I don't know who's listening, but Eva basically our teacher told us, oh, Eva doesn't talk. I said, okay, she doesn't talk. She doesn't talk. And so I sat next to her. I was playing with her hair. We were doing an activity, and I said, say what? And she goes like, what? I'm like, oh, that was a fluke. I'm like, maybe she said something else in gibberish. So we tried again, and she said the same word. Then we tried a different word. So then our teacher went and got her teacher from last year. And she's like, oh my God, do you know Eva can talk? And she's like, no, she can't talk. She can't. So she comes into the room. We do completely different words. And she opened the door and she says, bye. I don't know anything. Bye. Because she was so flabbergasted that this girl can talk. She just chooses not to.
Well, Karina, this is where I have to help you understand your gift. Now we can see your face again. We need some light. Where's your flashlight? Maybe
I don't have it. I'm on my cell phone.
Okay, well, it's on the back of your cell phone.
Let me see if I can move closer to this area.
Yeah, because it's really hard. But anyway, I have to remind Karina that her psychic gift is what's helping these people or these children communicate, respond, feel safe, feel nurtured, because the rest of the world doesn't understand, and they're frightened and they're withdrawn or whatever. But as you're finding out, there's now 2 students that you've been working with that are diagnosed nonverbal or non-whatever. I'm not a teacher, and I'm not in that world. There you go. Now we can see you. So all of a sudden, you've got students responding where no other teacher's ever been able to communicate with these people that are defined nonverbal. That's your gift, and that's what you have to accept. You want me to help you, and every time you come with a problem, it happens. I mean, I've predicted 1,000 things for you that have, in hours it occurs. Now I'm teaching you that because of your spiritual gift, you've got the ability to help these disadvantaged kids. They trust you. Just like a dog or a cat will come to you because you're more spiritual, okay? A lot of animals will run from non-spiritual people. Hey, Abby, thanks. Hearts back to you. There's something different when you're on a spiritual level versus a cognitive, very left brain material level that you can't connect with because you're so into the physical world, they don't understand the spirit of emotion. And you have been able to break through that barrier and help these children. And you've even intimidated some of the administrators because you know more than they do in some of these situations. So I call her the queen of the campus, because you keep breaking through, right? Unmute.
Yes. Yes. So I am the type of a person who I like to put administrators in their place because especially when it comes to children, children has always been my thing. And I can't do without children. So for me, children, especially if an administrator thinks they know the law, and then I tell them what the law in Illinois is, and they're like, they look it up on their phones and they're like, oh yeah, okay, sorry. I'm like, no, you apologize to the student.
You know what you're putting them in. I've been saying you should be an administrator, but your educational level is not the same. But you're so good with the people and the kids, and the parents adore you because you're breaking through where nobody else does.
Yes.
Now, here's a woman that used to bite her nails, and here's a woman that was afraid of animals. Look at her nails.
I don't know. Hold on. How do I?
Right there. No, okay. Now she's got beautiful nails because she no longer bites her nails. And what kind of animals do you have now? We used to be so afraid of animals. What do you have?
So I have major anxiety. So because I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna be this. And Linda said, just go to the snail tech. She'll do a good job. I'm like, I don't think anyone can save these. So it's been 4 years now, and they just keep getting longer, and I keep cutting them. But whatever she says absolutely happens. It happens instantaneously.
What about the animals? You used to be afraid of animals. What do you have now?
So I love this cute little puppy. So when Linda and I met, I saw a few pictures of her beloved puppy who died.
Penny.
I've never physically met this dog, but I've talked to it on camera. And the love of that, no, I mean, her eyes, just her heart. She would sit there and she would look at you. And now, I can walk by a mini dog, like maybe Linda size dog, because bigger dogs still kind of scare me. But the normal, like small size, I can do. Like I can come up to them now because of Linda. And now we actually have a cat, and his name is Simba.
That's the answer I've been looking for 5 minutes. So now you've adopted an animal.
Yes.
And your brother destroyed it with fear and pain, and you adopted it with love and compassion. So this cat migrates to you and stays away from your mother. Animals aren't dumb. All animals are sensitive. All animals and plants, everything living, even a goldfish has emotions. But
even though my brother adopted the animal, like he does not care for him. No. He comes over and he sleeps on my bed.
Let's switch gears for a moment. You've been taking the DNA nutrition. You've been taking this. Talk about your experience in the last year.
So the first time that I got the capsules. And I just felt like I've never vacationed in my life. Like I literally slept, I don't know how long, because I was in summer break that time. And I don't know how many days I've slept for. I mean, like I would get up and then I would go to bed, but I didn't have to take allergy medicine to go to bed. I didn't have to take Advil for my headaches. I suffer horrible migraines. Oh, by the way, Linda did heal that one. She did heal my migraines. Okay. Like if you all have a migraine, go to her. But the nutrition has helped me, like where I actually that's incorrect. I basically make myself go to the gym and work out, and I feel great after my workout. Before I was like, oh no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It makes you feel alive. It makes you feel as if God gave you force of life and like, through your head, and literally you have that energy to run around. You don't take as much caffeine. You don't have that anxiety. You don't have that nervousness.
With your name and a barcode.
Yes. I have it at home, but yes.
And getting your DNA map. So call me off the air and let's get you signed up for the DNA and watch your body and your mind and your mental stability and your motivation.
Yes.
And everything move forward. You will be shocked at how this works painlessly. Because at first Karina was a little reluctant. And I said, no, just try it. And now
but back to the student, not to interrupt you.
Yeah,
but back to that student, they also went on Euphoria.
Oh, on it. Right.
And
so here's an autistic child that's starting to improve. Talk about that.
So his mom put him on that, Euphoria. We did a 3-way call with Dr. Linda. They talked about, what issues he doesn't have. And he's been on it, I don't want to, maybe like half a year at this point, but he has changed dramatically to the point like where even our own teacher has doubts that he has any intellectual issues. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's pretty much what kids get, diagnosed with. So she doesn't even believe that he has that diagnosis that he was diagnosed with. She thinks it's completely different.
He is talking. Yeah. Hey, E. But yeah, talking, changing, healing, we'll get the weight down. It's all going to start shifting.
Yes.
So let's just go back to your mediumship. So when you channel, or you get names, or sometimes you bring in my mom, or you pick up something around whoever's around me, the guy I'm involved with, my father, work, whatever. What is it that you get? Is it an image? You see them
Um,
remote viewer. I am not a remote viewer. Explain what remote viewing is. That's a whole different gift than I've got.
yeah. For me, the first thing that I get is I hear, even though I have a hearing loss. For me, I hear and I feel it. Like I
All right,
feel
so
and I
here
see
is clear
imagery.
audience, everybody. Clear audience is where you can hear spirit. Clairvoyant is where you see things, and clairsentience where you feel. So we can talk
Yes.
about the various types of psychic abilities. It is not intuition. We've all got intuition. Everybody
Yeah.
who goes, oh, I'm psychic, I got this, I'm intuitive. I say, yeah, but intuition is not psychic.
Right.
Go on.
Right. So for me, it's really that I hear and I see the vision. Like when I get to a person, like a new person that I have never talked to, I just get all these images and I get all the in my ears. I just listen to everything in my ears. And it takes a while for me sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't, but I just channel. And when I channel, Linda's like, you need to stop talking. She's like, you're going way too fast because it just comes so much and you have to interpret it in your head so that the person can understand. And there are certain times like where things that we say don't make sense, but to that person it does. And I'm
Stop.
always amazed.
Stop.
I'm like,
Stop. That's true. I want to explain to the listener, to the viewer. Hi, Papa John. When we channel and we hear messages, people don't understand. It doesn't come in straight language, straight English. I've channeled somebody that didn't speak English, but interpreted what was coming through psychically and communicated it on the air. And the woman said, or the father said, yeah, that's my mom. That's exactly right. We as mediums hear broken messages, then we have to quickly translate and either type it out on a chat or communicate by the phone. And people get impatient. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? You have to understand it's not in perfect English like we're communicating now. Channeling is broken and it's coming from another world. Go on, Karina. We just lost you.
hold on a second. Let me move to this different area because these people came and it's just uncomfortable to talk.
Yeah.
Sorry, next time we'll do it like at my house, but everyone's home right now. So okay. Oh, this is so much better. Okay. So when I channel, for me, it's that I hear and I see. And there's times where, I have clients who call me and say, oh, I heard you're the best, and she starts talking and I can't get one thing. Like, I'm like, I can't reach you. Sorry. And she's like, oh, but please, no, I can't reach
You
you.
find that because they're so blocked or negative or they're not.
It's negativity for me.
Yeah.
Because I know either they're going to bash me later.
Yep.
Or, they just like, I don't like when people like say, like, for example, if your name is Linda and they go, I'm Susie Q, and they don't care about it, but they want to know. I'm like, that doesn't work. If you don't want to be truthful with me, Spirit is not going to be truthful because they're going to play the game. So
and I have to break through a lot of the times, or people yell at me when I answer the phone and book the appointment, and they're asking questions. They don't understand. I'm not in psychic mode. I'm working hard to take the credit card, book the calendar. They're asking questions, and they don't understand. Just because I'm doing the business, I should be able to be psychic at the same time. And they yell at me for being rude when I'm trying to get the business done. And it's hard because people don't comprehend. And then you're right. There are people that are so negative or rather blocked, or maybe they're not evolved enough, Karina, that it's too hard to even try to get through a message because they just want to know who's going to call on Thursday. Right?
Yeah. So for me, integrity is very important on both ends. If you have no integrity, don't bother calling because I will not be able to help you as much as I want to, but I can read negativity and I don't want to deal with it. I want to do my life, my business as easy as it needs to be.
If people want to find you for a reading, where did they go? Medium Karina? No. What's the website?
It's www.Karina, KarinaRaquel.com.
KarinaRaquel.com.
Yes.
I'll type it into the chat.
Yeah.
What's your most favorite reading that's ever happened?
Okay. So my favorite was back when Block Talk was popular, it was not TikToky, but it was, Block Talk. So I did a radio, and whoever my host was a really sweet lady, and she said, "Oh, we've had this caller before." And I said, "Okay." So, whoever the caller was, her name was Ebony. I don't remember what state she lives in, but I think her even testimonials are even on my website. But she calls up and she just goes on and on and on. And I let her finish, and I said, your nephew was involved in a drive-by shooting, and I said he left you a gold necklace. And she's like, "There's no gold necklace. No, I don't know what you're talking about." Okay, I'm sorry, but there is a gold necklace, and he was, killed in a drive-by shooting. So after a while, I, didn't hear anything. So then the host called me and said, "Oh, can you do a radio tonight? Because the Ebony wants to call back and tell you the truth." And I said, "What's the truth?" I said, "He was killed in a drive-by shooting and there's a necklace." Well, so she finally comes in the air and she says, "I don't know, how you knew this, but he did buy a necklace earlier that day and he gave it to my sister. My sister was supposed to give it to me that night, but he did get killed in a drive-by shooting. The police did confirm it."
People don't understand that we as mediums get the information, or as a psychic. I have heard necks snap in a hanging. I have heard bullets flying in a shooting. I have heard car crashes and accidents. I've heard war zone shootings. I've heard people just before they transition into the other life. We have a gift. Sometimes it's a curse that we have this ability to transfer the two worlds and bring them together. And then people go, "Well, how'd you know that?" I said, "Well, if you don't want to know, don't ask me as a psychic." And I will tell the truth. And I don't always make you feel good because it hurts if I tell the truth. I'm going through a relationship situation, and some people say, "No, it's over." And other people, like Karina, say, "No, you're going to marry him." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't know what's going to happen because everybody has an opinion." But it's who sees what and how it feels. But I know karmically there's soulmates and twins and all the different levels of runners and chasers. We can do that on another show. But people always want to know, how do you know that? Well, I'm psychic. Oh, I get intuition. It's not intuition. So how do you combat that when people challenge you beyond every time you try to say, "Yeah, but this is what I'm getting," then they come back to testify?
I, even in my work life, challenge is a challenge, but I feel like I can tell you, yes and no, but I also kind of know when to take a step back, because eventually that person's going to either apologize or get, through their head that it did happen, maybe not at the time they want it, or maybe not how they want it. But then, usually I get people back, "Well, thanks." And I'm like, okay, so that's for me saying, all right, cool, points for me. But I feel like challenging a person, especially when it comes to life decisions, career, or anything, well, you and I do, it's not best to challenge that, because then you start kind of doubting your own self a little, because you're like, well, maybe I'm not doing this right. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But there are other times where I'm like, I do know what I'm talking about. So I just step back and let them live their life.
And then they come back and say, "Yeah, you were right." Or how many times have you been seen where I've been
90% of them, yes.
You've read where I've been bashed online as being a bitch and wrong and all this. Then you go back and say, "Hey, that person rewrote and said they apologized because they found out you were right." It's part of the game, part of the nature of it.
Is.
You got to let me know if there's anything out there right now. But, spirituality, God, psychic abilities, we all have a gift. It's how you want to use it. It's how you
Linda, there's a shooting.
What?
There's a shooting. Hold on.
A shooting?
Did you hear gunshots?
Yeah, but I thought it was something running around in the bushes. You just heard a gunshot?
Yeah, just
all right,
there's
then
gunshots.
You sign off and get into your house and go get safe.
All right, I will be back later. Bye.
All right, bye. All right, so that was Karina. Wow. somebody had a gunshot incident in their apartment today in their building. I read it this morning, and somebody I know, it's like, I don't know what's going on. Everybody has guns and they're angry. And again, it's the Mercury retrograde. And again, there's a lot of weirdness going on. Everybody's anxious. Papa Jeff, you have a question for me? You're sitting out there. Why don't you say something? I'm going to bring you on the show at some point, but ask a question. Don't be shy. E, you have a question? I know you've been emailing me on Instagram. If you want to see me on Instagram or find me, it's Wicks of Wisdom and Psychic Dr. Linda. My Instagram account got hacked in January, and a lot of people have been getting this spam stuff about giving money or giving a green card. A gift card. Don't buy into it, folks. It's not me. It's not me at all. So, Wicks of Wisdom, let's go back to the candles. If you need help with love, money, moving, travel, health, getting rid of negativity, opening doors, getting business to come in, that's what the candles are for. I'm here to help everybody achieve more by participating in your own alchemy, meaning you're the chemist, you're the witch, you're the wizard. You can make things happen by accelerating with the candles. I'm going to play that little video again so you get an idea. Now, remember, this is only one of maybe 18 different sets that we have. But to give you an idea, I'll be right back. Check this out.
Use this set of candles to assist in strengthening the immune system, heal from various ailments, enhance general health and well-being, and target and help heal specific health issues. They can expedite the healing process. They're great to use before and after surgeries, and it can encourage physical, emotional, and spiritual healing.
Come to me, tell me what the situation is, and like I was saying to Karina, it only takes me a few minutes to assess the situation. I don't need the story. I don't need to go into long dissertation. I don't need to hear everything, because I quickly, I can quickly discern what you need. So Papa Jeff lost his grandson about 2 months ago. And what was his first name, please, Jeff? He's actually at peace. It was a sad situation where he was murdered, but he's actually at peace. He just feels guilty leaving everybody so soon, especially his mom, who the grieving is going to take a long time. Alex is around the family as a guardian angel. You may be able to sense him or hear something or be reminded of him, but he's taken his time transitioning from the physical world to the spiritual world, especially because the mother's so distraught. That's your daughter, I believe, right? It's your daughter's child that was lost, correct? So the message also is for you to just embrace the fact, he says, I'm on the other side with love, so a lot of the dysfunction in the family can heal. So a part of what his, Papa Jeff says, yup. So he's saying that his departure, his leaving, even though it was accidental or unfortunate, I'll use that word, even though it's caused a pain and a vacancy in the family, because he was so young. Wasn't just a teenager, young 20 something. I don't even remember the age. You can type it in, Jeff. He is helping to heal the family unit because it's so broken, and I think a lot of it happened when you divorced. So he's going to bridge the gap in your family. So Storm Monroe just popped in. He's done prepping for a show. I sent you the link if you want to go sign on. Storm will bring you on. Check your email. Makita, I was gifted a savings bond. Let's see. I was gifted a savings bond when I was around 3 or 4 years old, which was lost, and my mom isn't able to give me any information. Can you see which bank? No, I don't read banks. I can't tell you what that is, but there is a set of candles called Lonely Soul, believe it or not, that might be able to reveal that. I would need to know the name of the banks, and then I could probably tell you where it is, but I can't just pull out of thin air. Now, Laura has a couple of hard to manage classes this year. Which candles should I buy? I would do Good Luck Power and harmony power. You would balance and harmonize the room of all the students. And they're great for unconditional love in dysfunctional situations. And the good luck removed the blocks, obstacles, negativity, curses, and bad luck with all the heaviness that you've got. So those two, plus your 10% off. What was the dog's name? Linda. Okay. Was it more like a shepherd? I get like a larger dog and big ears. I get ears, big ears standing up. So, when did you lose the dog? This year? My dog left in March. This was a soulmate dog, and this, okay, husky, like a German shepherd. I'm getting a large dog. That's similar. Okay, so that's just how spirit works. I could have said a poodle. I could have said a mutt or a dachshund, but no, I'm getting a big dog with the kind of fur like a shepherd. So the husky's a big dog. So you lost yours on September 12th. And I lost mine March 30th. So Penny and Linda are probably playing out from the Rainbow Bridge, having a good time. But this dog loved you, followed you. I mean, you couldn't even go to the bathroom without this dog by you. This one was a protection dog and a security dog. What was was she only like 9 or 10? Big blue eyes. Yeah. Was she only like 9 or 10? Yep. How old? 11. All right, I was close. See, I'm not perfect, but I'm pretty close. It wasn't a 15-year-old dog and it wasn't a 4-year-old dog, but I can get pretty much my accuracy rate, not to toot my horn, but I'm pretty much about 98% accurate most of the time. I can channel the dead. I can talk to you. I can help you communicate. But the dog's in a really safe place and the dog's happy. And there's also another dog that you had when you were younger that it's with, that was a smaller dog, more whitish gray, softer, sweeter dog. Okay, Abby, wait a minute. They're soulmate dogs. Man, I learn a lot from you, Miss Linda. I appreciate it. Okay, yeah, soulmate dogs. And Worlds is saying, yeah, she is my soulmate. Yes, Clovey. Okay, so that's the other dog Linda's with. And it was a soulmate. We connect with our dogs and cats and birds like we do with people. Some of them come into our life and you recognize the soul connection with the animal, not just humans. You're welcome, Papa Jeff. But yeah, he's around you to heal the family. It's really a lesson for everybody to come together. We can talk about that when I have you on the show. You're welcome, Worlds. The souls of animals, if you look in the eyes, sometimes you're going to connect with their eyes and sometimes you're going to go, no. Like when I met Penny, first, I had a dog named Kayla, and she was only 3.5. She was half German Shorthair Pointer and half Whippet. And after 3 years, her spine started falling apart, and I had to put her down at 3.5. And 2 years later, I told my mom I was ready for a new dog. And then that was 2008. My mom passed in 2009, and I found this little mutt. And she sat on the side of her hip, and she looked like, what am I doing here? So I rescued this little dog, and man, she was the love of my life, as was Kayla and my 5 cats and 5 birds I've had. But I connected with all of them. But Penny became like a service dog, and she was with me always. And she was a lap dog. I could hold her. I really think she was Kayla reincarnated, because Kayla was 50 pounds and stood high. And Penny had a lot of the behavior that Kayla did. Like I'd be walking, Kayla would pull herself out of the collar and stand there, and I had the leash. Well, Penny started doing that. Dogs don't do that. So I started looking. They were both brown and white. They both had the same kind of attitude. So I think Penny was Kayla reincarnated, and I only as a lap dog. So I used to say, are you Kayla? Are you Kayla? And her head would come up. She's on my website, lindasalvin.com. You can see where I put a little tribute of Penny. She's just smiling, a little bow in her hair. So go take a look at Penny. But, the show's going to grow if you help me let the show grow. And I love the fact that you guys show up every week. I will be here, and eventually, now that we're getting more and more of the elements together, I'm going to go Sundays, and then Tuesdays I might do 5 days. I just have to build it, but I need your help getting the word out. I am a true psychic. Karina's a true psychic. There are charlatans galore online now. TikTok, Instagram, candle magic, mediums. Don't believe half of them. please, because you're going to waste your money. They're going to tell you what you want, or they're going to come in from left field, and it's going to hurt you in a way that's not right. And then all of a sudden it happens. Example, somebody said to me, 89 or 90, my dad was going to die in 1990, right? So I told my sisters, we have to be really careful with dad. He's going to die, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's 2022. My dad's now 93. Okay, so I never speak death. I don't speak children. It's all up to God. There's a God, and I'm not God. I may get messages from the universe, but I'm not God. I don't play God. So don't ask me when you're going to die, because nobody knows how or when. I can channel once you're dead. You can come back and say hello, or like the dogs between Linda and Clovey. And a couple of weeks ago, I channeled a cat named Misty. You know, it's all real. I did not grow up like Karina, who was gifted after she got sick and with her great grandmother. With me, I was in a plane crash, became psychic. Got hit by a fire truck a year later, became more psychic. Totaled a car in 1984, had the white light experience, was given the choice to live or die, had 3 near-death experiences, and became very, very psychic, not knowing what to do back in 1984. And there was no internet, as I've said before. But by 1994, 10 years later, I was picked to be a radio psychic, and it started in 1994, my career online, broadcasting in 400 markets before the internet. So I've been around a long time. I've worked really hard. I'm going to be on 3 TV shows coming up this fall. Let you know what they are in your local network stations. And I'm going to be shooting a docuseries pretty soon, which I'll let you know. It'll be, I think it's 2 weeks from today. They're going to be here from London shooting. So I may not do the show that day. But there's things that go on the outside because of how much I've worked and how much I've earned, and my book's coming out next year. But the main thing is I try to help you become a better you for your tomorrow, with all the grief, guilt, shame, fear, anxiety, problems, finances. We're in the inflation. There's always something. But if you have faith and you trust the process, you're going to be okay. And if you stay in touch with me, I'll get you over the hump. You can call me off the air at 888-509-1077. Leave a message, or just go to my website, lindasalvin.com. Check me out on Storm and Rose Show right here on YouTube this Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Tune into that. Thank you, Abby. I'll be more in touch with the details as I'm allowed to talk about it. So I'm going to sign off, but it seems like more and more people are joining the show, so maybe I should hang out just a little longer. When I did radio on AM and FM stations, I did a 2-hour broadcast, and on those days I had phone calls as opposed to chat, so I would take 50 calls a night. Laura knows, because Laura used to call all the time. She's been around me for over 20 years and a long-term follower and believer. And the show would be interactive. You could hear each other talk, ask questions, and here I'm reading your statements and then responding. So it's a little different vibe, but the good news is your response, Laura's laughing, that your responses are wonderful because you're confirming, like the dog. Yes, I see another dog that was smaller. Yes. Okay. So what I'm picking up in a very quick manner is being confirmed by you in the chat room, which I appreciate. It means a lot. So if you have a topic, like I just mentioned near-death experiences, I didn't know what a near-death experience was until I was in a plane crash, a Boeing 737 back in 1981, February 17th. February 1982, I got hit by a fire truck, lost their gear shift on a hill, and I freaked out, and the captain got out of the truck and said, "You okay, man?" Because I was laughing and crying, and I said, "Oh yeah, last time in a plane crash, I'm getting hit by a fire truck." True story. But I became agoraphobic. I became so scared, not knowing what was happening in my world, and I was fragmented, and I had no one to talk to, and it wasn't like I could Google getting hit by a fire truck. So I just started becoming more and more psychic and more spiritual. I started listening to the voices. I started following the synchronicity, and I started opening up. And just as I started to get my feet wet in life again, I totaled a car on a rainy night. And as God is my witness, this light went from the ceiling of my car, or my head, to the ceiling of my car, into the heavens. So this loud voice came down and said, "You can come with us now or stay and do." And I was given a message. And we got a guest coming on in just a moment, a surprise. So I got out of the car when the paramedics had the jaws of life, and I saw that I had broadsided a Pinto on a rainy night with all the lights out. And I said, they want me off the planet. They want me off the planet, because I didn't know why I kept going through all these bizarre accidents and near death and out of body. And nobody was talking about it. Now everybody talks about it like they're all old pros. Well, I've been doing it for 40 years. But you're only hearing about it with me now because you didn't know me before on AM and FM radio. Papa Jeff says, Dr. Linda, broadcast legend. Yeah, I keep calling you doctor. Maybe you should get a doctorate. Papa Jeff heard me on Coast to Coast with George Noory, with which I've been on his show many, many times over the last decade. And you can listen to all of the broadcasts. Don't go away, Storm Monroe. You're coming back on. Storm Monroe is joining us. He's going to pop in his frame in just a moment. There he is. Look at that body. Look at that body. That's a DNA nutrition body. Hello.
Hi, Dr. Linda. How are you?
I'm fine. I talked about you, and I let everybody know I'm going to be joining you at 4 p.m. your time, 1 p.m. my time on Sunday.
Yes.
Now look at this body. This body was not like that 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I get a call out of nowhere. Hi, my name's Storm. I'd like to book a reading. I said, okay. So next, I do this little reading, and then he starts wondering about the candles. I said, what do you do? He goes, oh, you don't want to know. I said, well, tell me. He goes, I do a show on YouTube. I said, what kind of show? Oh, you don't want to know. Remember, you were a little shy about the topic because I was so spiritual. You didn't want to upset my apple cart, but I love the grunge. Anyway, Storm found out about my candles and found out about me because he was researching the Kardashians for his show. So why didn't you take it from there and elaborate on what you discovered? And 2.5 years later, we worked together. He's like a little brother to me. No, we're not dating. Yes, I adore him. I'm older than his own mom. Don't give me heartache. But he's also on the nutrition, his weight, his body, his skin, his sport, his athletic. Laura just signed up. So Laura's going to start seeing change. The inflammation's gone. But talk about the Kardashian research and all that. It's kind of cute.
It is. I mean, you research the Kardashians, and then, of course, you come up. And I see a video from, it says it's like a decade ago, but apparently it was, longer than that.
It was 2006, but the internet says it was 1999, and that's a lie. We filmed in 2006. We hit TV in 2008.
Yeah, because if you go on I feel like it was the late 90s, and I'm like, that wasn't the late 90s.
No. Don't believe everything you see online.
That is so true. But I watched the video, I get intrigued, and I'm like, you know what? I wonder. My first thought was, is this lady still alive?
Oh, gee, I didn't know that part, but go ahead. I'm not that old.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if this lady's still alive. Not you just never know. So then I looked you up and I found you, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna just see. Then I looked at your website. I said, I wonder if she's still active or maybe she's retired. But
yeah, because I'm so old.
But you answered, and then you was like, oh, don't worry, you'll be fine. Oh, don't worry, you're gonna have an influx of money coming in. Oh, don't worry. Your big thing was don't worry.
But I also told you don't jump on the table so much.
Yeah. That part. That part.
I just kind of help tweak the show a little, like the behavior. Calm it down and put it this way versus that way. Yeah, no, it's been great working with you. I love you to death. But when Storm came, you come to me, folks, everybody has issues. Nobody's perfect. Doesn't matter where you are in life. We look one way, but between our ears, it's another story for all of us. We all have a story. Especially during a retrograde. But Storm came to me, ordered candles, and I said, well, keep in touch with me, like I say to everybody. Let me know how they are. And then most people disappear because they think one set of candles is going to change your life, and if not, they disappear. It doesn't work that way. But one day, I started getting a slew of calls. I thought, how'd you hear about me? Oh, Storm Monroe. How'd you hear about me? Storm Monroe. I said, so I called him. I said, what the F did you do? So he sent me a link to a show talking about everything, which is on my website. And sometimes it loads and sometimes it doesn't, folks. If you go to lindasalvin.com, scroll to the bottom of the home page, and then you have to maybe refresh. It'll pop up, and you'll see that particular show, which I had to call Storm and say, well, that's not quite true. This is what really happened, because he was learning the facts but didn't quite know all the facts. And that's what brought us together even closer. Storm burns candles probably twice a month ever since. You've done Rebound, to go back on somebody. You've done Money and Success. You've done Health. You've done Path Power for getting out of procrastination into motivation. You've done Good Luck to remove blocks, obstacles. You've done Soulmate to bring people in or new audience members. You've done Health and Wellness. Talk about your experience with the candles, because I know you work with others with candles too, but mine are a little different like everybody's. But what's your experience been?
To make a very long story short,
Yeah.
I would say everybody's experience is going to be a little bit different. But what I notice is that I feel in control versus other people's products. Well, I don't want to give away too much, but me and you know why.
Right.
The way yours is set up versus theirs.
Right.
But you really feel like you're taking control of your destiny, if that makes sense.
Like I said, you become the alchemist. You're participating.
Yeah.
You're actually
So if you want
doing.
to say that or not, yes.
Yeah. A lot of people give you prepared candles with the oils, herbs, or whatever in the candle, in the wax, or in the bowl. There's a ritual, yes, and some of it will work. Yes, I'm not disputing, but mine is different because you're involved.
Yes.
You're pouring in the oils, you're putting in the herbs, you're writing out that petition, you're burning it in the flame. Don't ask me what goes on the petition, folks, because that's part of the secret. My candles work because of the oils and the petitions. Go on.
What was so crazy, like I recently, I'm doing a set for Money and Success, and it was so funny. Started burning I'm still on the first candle, actually, and I got a random check in the mail. It was for $17, but still a random check.
You never know. Yep.
Then when I met up with an old friend, she might want to do advertisement. And then another advertisement came through. So it was just, it happens in spurts.
And it's subtle.
Yes, and it's subtle. But then sometimes it's been big too. It just all depends.
It always depends. But if you're aware and watching how the universe works, like a lot of those people for advertising or promoting your show or whatever, you may not have drawn it in had you not done the candles. I know when I'm doing Money and Success, I'm busier because I'm drawing in more sales, or I'm communicating more with my guy because of the love potion, number 9 kind of thing. Yes. Or like, look, I'm booked on all these shows coming up because I've been burning the Money and Success again. So things open up. And yes, it's the work of a publicist. And yes, it's this, but it was quiet for a while. And now it's starting up again. And is it odd or is it God? The candles work like a prescription for your soul. Now, Storm has had some negative bashing online by competitors online, and I told them what to do. And all of a sudden they got quiet. And the painful, insulting, backstabbing, which happens if you're a public figure,
yes,
is quieter, more tolerable. And I've always said you're going to be okay. They have yet to really bring you down. One girl got brought down, and we know that, right? Yes. And we did some candles, and I said, this is going to happen. And it happened. Okay. Yep. So you keep rising like the cream, and some of them are getting more chaotic, and you keep going. He's got a hell of a show, people. Storm Monroe, check out his channel. Almost every day he's doing something. He's full of gossip. He loves the Kardashians and the hip hop and the crazies and who's screwing who and who's backstabbing and who's doing drugs and what else you talk about. You're a big showbiz gossip kind, but you bring out the truth and you nail them like I do psychically. You nail it entertainment wise. How did you get started with that?
I mean, it's something I've always been interested in. I mean, I was the kid watching, E! News when it first started and reading the magazines in the stores. And so that's how I know a lot of these stories and the backgrounds.
Right.
But no, I love what I do. I love to get in other people's business, but put it like a funny. It's just, and even when
You're a gossip.
I ask people things.
Abby just said he's a gossip blogger. Just as I said that, Storm is funny. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, so you add comedy and you make it work. So
Yeah, that's what I do. I get a break the monotony or the depression, or if we're talking dead people and a kid that was committed suicide, or somebody that was murdered, or the dog that was lost, or whatever's going on. And then I bring humor into my readings. I got to break it. And sometimes people don't understand why I tell a story of my own, or I try to be funny, because experience, strength, and hope lets others hopefully hear I'm human. I get it. I understand you. And you bring out all the facts. You do your research, but you still have that bent of humor that makes it work so well. That's the beauty of your job that I just adore.
it is. And it is a responsibility for sure. But
most people don't know how much work goes in behind it, Storm.
not even that. Just managing everybody coming at you at once. It can be a lot.
Yep. I'll go to him, help, or he'll come to me, help, or drowning here, or we'll compare, even though we're in different worlds psychically, versus him online as a big YouTuber, and I'm like, a little baby on a pebble right now, but a year from now it should be where he is yesterday. But we'll see. But it's work, people. Yes. Planning, researching, even doing the StreamYard, getting the links out, promoting, there's so much that goes on, but the research to know most of the data, so that if you're presenting something, you're not just making it up. There are some people I've seen that are kind of, quote, friends or competitors of yours. I listen to them for a moment to get a hit from what you're talking about. And I'm like, why do people even spend time listening to this stuff? How do they get millions of viewers on this garbage? It makes no sense. But that's the literacy level of a lot of people today.
Yes, that is very true. That is, and not even to mention, like, a lot of times the people that watch you, they fall in love with you. We've had that.
Oh yeah, we've had that discussion. I've got more women who call me and say, "Do you know Storm?" Yeah, I talk to him all the time. Is he single? Oh yeah, he is. Well, do you think I could meet him? No. He's not open. No, he's not available. Remember that one girl who was like so into you, and I said, I don't know what to tell her, and I think I gave you her number. It's like she was so obsessed, and she was devastated when I said, well, he's my soulmate. I said, he's not your soulmate. He's not your soulmate.
Yeah, she said we were soulmates because we both had the same poster from Walmart.
From Walmart on the wall. Yeah. So, of course, she knows everything about his sex life, his family life, his mother, his work, right?
Everything.
And then he gets bashed. I'm educated. I prefer to deal with educated people, but some of the smartest people in the world have no education, formal academic training, and it doesn't matter. I happen to have gone the academic route. I wanted to be a singer-songwriter, ended up with a PhD. Okay. Storm has an MBA. Storm went to college. Unfortunately, stupid people, ignorant people will bash him because he's black and educated. What does he know? Well, you know what? He's successful. He works damn hard to get what he's got and where he's headed. And so many people resent him for succeeding. People get jealous when you succeed. People get jealous if you rise above them. You do a lot of interactive teaching, so to speak, with ideas of relationships or whatever as a counselor per se in your own world. You help people build YouTube stations. You entertain, but you work damn effing hard, Storm. And I know.
That's the part you don't see. That's the part people don't see. They think it's easy for us to do what we do. And they don't understand burnout or when we need a mental health day. Like, they don't really get it, but yeah.
Look, it took me, 2.5 years to get this whole thing fixed. You walked me through it. You were even here in Los Angeles back in February for your mom's birthday. You came by. You taught me StreamYard. I didn't even know. I am at the same time on StreamYard, Facebook, and YouTube. Because of what I've been doing, I built a whole radio station with a stream system out of Florida with my producer in Iowa and my editor in Colorado and my creative director here in LA, plus my tech guy in LA, and then you as a consultant in Georgia. It's taken a lot of work just to build this thing. And people think, well, why don't you just plug in and talk? right?
We don't all have that luxury, but I want to say it's been fun. I got to run to my show,
And I'll be on your show on Sunday, and I want you guys to come and you go, because I'm going to sign off as well. But I'm glad you popped in, and we'll do it again. I love you to death. Take care.
Love you too. Take care now.
Bye. So that was Storm Monroe, and he, like I said, did a whole bit on the Kardashians, which you can see on lindasalvin.com, as to how he and I connected and got started, and then with the candles and the readings, and I mentored him and he mentored me with YouTube, and you just build a relationship. It just happens. You got another guy out there doing a show. It's Papa Jeff's America. Go check that out and check his podcast. But I'm going to say goodbye. I'll be back next Thursday, maybe even sooner. Please subscribe, send in comments, book a reading, buy the candles, help support me with my career, not just getting all the freebie stuff. Okay. Hi, Blossom. So you guys have a good evening. I want to thank all of you, and we'll talk again real soon. Okay. Take care, and check out Storm and me at 1:00 Pacific time Sunday. Until next week, God bless.